Hi, my name is Nick Kallman. I'm a sound designer at Skewsound, and I'm working on EXO. I grew up playing video games. My dad had a Atari 2600 back in the day, so I remember playing Pong and all those classics. We had a Nintendo. I remember getting Super Nintendo for Christmas one year, and that was like a huge deal. My brother and I freaked out. I got into sound design right after college, actually. I went to a music school back in Boston, Massachusetts, and shortly after that, got into the game industry as a tester across the river in Cambridge, Mass. I got hooked up with Jump Drive through Corey. We met on our way down to GDC, the Game Developers Conference this year. We just happened to be sitting next to each other on the plane and got to chatting. We both had attendance of Pig Squad events, the local Portland indie game squad, and just kind of connected there. Going with organic sources is how we're approaching the sound design for EXO. We like using real world sounds. We like going out in the field and recording different sources, taking them back in the studio and squashing the hell out of them. So for the laser sound in particular, Corey had stressed how important this sound was for the team. That seems to be your main weapon. You're going to hear it all the time. So it needs to be unique and enjoyable and powerful. Taking those organic sounds and creating something inorganic with them. It has a very unique feel, and even though it seems very alien, a lot of the sounds are still grounded in what we're familiar with. So we took an approach that a lot of other sound designers might not do. We spent a lot of time on this. We put a lot of layers into this one seemingly simple, insignificant sound effect, but for this game it's very important. So here we have the laser session that I used to build laser sound effects. I'm using Pro Tools here. When we were working on this, we didn't know if the lasers were going to have a finite length, if they were going to be able to be channeled, or we didn't know any of those specifics, and you really don't with a lot of games you work on. So we built a sound that can have a start, then it can have a loop that plays in the middle, and then has an end, so it could be any length. So we started with this sine sweep. And then the end of the sound has more of a low end, just kind of like done. It's just whatever power is powering the laser is just like spent. To beef up the start, we added a bass drum. Here's that by itself. Simple bass drum, high ends EQ'd out. It's a concert bass drum, so you get a lot of that. A lot of the heads are moving around. You get a lot of that. And so here's those two together. We then decided to use a little bit of real world source in this. We didn't record these. We use sample banks a lot. Electricity is very hard to record. So is fire, especially in a small apartment in Portland. So here's our electric bed that we threw in to just give it a little sizzle, a little high end to the laser. It has a cool start to it as well, almost like a magical fantasy effect. And here's those three together now. I'll just play the beginning and I'll play the end. And the end. Next, we want a little more synthy low end going on. I believe this sound effect is from a sound library that deals with a lot of like space interiors, a lot of spaceship interiors, spaceship pass-bys, all this stuff. So this is what we found and we manipulated into our use. So here's this sample. Like almost on the state of distortion, so it gives you like this powerful effect. It's got this pulsing thing going on, and then actually near the end of the sound you kind of feel it getting tired almost. All four of these together now give you a nice full sound effect, which we could have just stopped at. So here's all that. But we still weren't pleased with it completely. Just one more little flavor to it, a little texture. Just a fire rumble. So with the flanger, it adds a little motion to it. It adds almost like a spinning or whirring effect. And so now all 5 of these layers together gave us the laser sound. So this session only has 2 of the variations of the lasers that we sent over to Jump Drive for evaluation. The stuff you hear in-game right now also isn't indicative of this. I sent these sessions over to my other sound designer, Dan, who lives in Seattle, and he affected them and added just a little bit to it. This is the base of everything. After we worked on these for a bit, we realized, like in the video that we worked on, the pitch video for Jump Drive, the lasers were really short. So we compressed all this into less than 2 seconds. Right now, these sounds are about 13 seconds long, which is what you hear in-game currently. You want me looking right at the camera?
Yeah.
Check.
I'm already recording stuff.
Alright.
Alright, so introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nick Kallman. I'm a sound designer at Skewsound.